Okay, so what I do, I do a teaser, then I pause, and then I do the intro. Okay, so okay, so I have a real fun video for my audience today. I'm talking to a very beautiful friend of mine out of Italy, and we're going to have a wonderful discussion. I hope you hang around for this. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so this is the Hey Ed YouTube channel. I am your host, moderator, and all-around nice guy, Edward Anderson. And today we have a special little presentation because I've been talking to Alison about some things that she's doing lately. She told me about this event she has coming up, and I said, oh boy, I've got to do a video on this, Alison. You have to let me bring you on so we can talk about this. So out of Italy, my really good friend, I've known her for years now, Alison Anandi. Hi, Alison. How you doing?
Hello. Hey, Ed. It's so nice. I always love you.
Yeah, I love talking to you. And if any of you want to, if you search my videos far enough, you'll see other interviews I've done with Alison. And she is a sleep guru. And so for any of you out there who are struggling with your sleep, if you would like to get some help with your sleep issues, reach out to Alison. I'll make sure to have her contact information in the description below.
Your body and the brain has to cleanse the body, cleanse the brain. The brain has a whole load of metabolic maintenance to do during the night that it can't possibly do during the day.
I want to talk about this event you have coming up, because when you told me the title, I said, oh, this is brilliant. So please tell the audience what the title is of this retreat that you have coming up.
Right. It's called Awaken the Goddess Within.
Wow, I love that. I love that. I told her, boy, maybe I'll just show up and I'll just carry people's bags just so I can sit in the background. I mean,
well, you'll probably want to carry people's bags at the end when everyone has released their inner goddess.
Even better. I'll do before and after interviews, before they're a goddess and then when they're a full certified goddess. Okay, so what is the retreat about?
So basically, I'm collaborating with a very dear friend of mine who's a facilitator, a YPO facilitator, if anyone knows what that is, Young Presidents Organization. She does retreats all over the world for CEOs, entrepreneurs. And one of her topics that she uses is this goddess topic, using the Carl Jung's archetypal goddess, and which of those goddesses are being expressed and which ones are a bit pushed down, if you like. So it's actually learning more about the goddesses and learning which one you relate to and which one is actually not really manifesting right now, and maybe you need to look at that. And Andrea is very good at presenting the material, and she's got lots of very interesting processes. There's a quiz, a goddess quiz. So what I'll do as well is I'll give you the link to the quiz so you can put that. So basically you can take the quiz and it will give you an idea of what goddesses are you're more aligned with right now and what goddesses you aren't. So maybe that's something you can do just as a fun exercise.
Okay.
And so I'm working with her on it. Obviously, that's why we're talking. And so I'm actually doing some supportive work for the seminar. And when people are much quieter and their mind is much quieter, it lets them be more open, and they come out of the head space into the heart space, and just reconnecting them to things like breath, so that they can really start to open up the heart space, open up some stuff that might be buried that needs to come up, because sometimes we have situations where we've got stuff that needs to come up, but we're pushing it down all the time. It's a bit like walking around with lots of pressure cooker lids on, and you just keep on pushing it down, pushing it down, pushing it down. But what really needs to happen, it all really needs to come up and out, because it gets in the way.
So there are different kinds of goddesses?
There's 6 archetypal goddesses. Okay. And each goddess has, that's really Andro's field, but there's Aphrodite, Hera, Athena, Persephone, Artemis, and Demeter. And each one has particular qualities to it than Aphrodite. We all know Aphrodite, you know, Marilyn Monroe, and I think Hera is the wife, but that's really her piece. It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating to look at your life as a woman through these goddesses and go, well, actually, yeah, I'm pressing that down. That's not really coming out in my life. Maybe I need to look at that. And that's the work that we'll be doing.
Okay, so I assume that women are naturally one of the goddesses already, right? I suppose that's what the quiz is about, kind of identify which goddess you are most naturally identified with, right? And right about that, or
yeah, absolutely.
okay.
So you'll be identifying with maybe one or two of the goddesses, and there's some other aspects of some of the other goddesses that you're not relating to, or that's not coming out in your life, that maybe it would be useful or it would be good to have that aspect of that goddess to come out in your life.
So is the idea to understand what each goddess represents, and then pick the one you would like to be like, and then do things to become like that? But I'd like to be more like Aphrodite, and then do stuff to. Okay.
You know, actually, I'd like to be an Aphrodite. How do I make that happen?
Yeah.
It's deep. It's actually quite deep work. It's very deep work, exploring the goddess and exploring who you are, and also why certain things aren't manifesting in your life. Perhaps there's something that's not happening or not flowing. And I've been experiencing that quite a bit, where I'm thinking, well, why isn't my life really flowing? What's blocking it? And this is an exploration into really what's blocking you, and maybe how you're relating to these aspects of yourself, because they're all different archetypes. And I guess we have a certain amount of everything in us, because the goddess.
Okay.
But it's just that some are not really manifesting as much as others.
Are there any goddesses who have traits that are not desirable for? Hey, you don't want to be like her? I'm just curious.
No.
Okay. All right.
They all have a very positive aspect.
Okay.
But having said that, if you're really if your one is more dominant, it might not necessarily be serving you, because you might be pushing the other areas down. Therefore, that's something to really look at. What's manifesting? What am I emanating? But what am I pushing down? And that's the work that Andrea does. She will draw it out. So what I do is I have a supporting role. So I'm actually getting them into a quiet space, getting them in touch with their breath, getting them in touch with their heart space, quietening them down. Because breath is very much the connection to the spirit, and the breath is very undervalued, I think. It's intimately connected with yoga, and it's inseparable on many levels. And when you combine breath with movement and bring the awareness inwards, all sorts of magic happens. And if we can get people to get into that space and then start doing the exploration, then great things can happen. And it can really activate people's willingness to leave their comfort zone and really look to go, what do I want the next phase of my life to be? What's blocking me? What's blocking me from having what I really want in my life? That's a very good question. Very good question for me. Very good question for most people. And in this case, women. We're working with women.
And just to be clear, Alison was talking about breaths, not breasts. Okay, just kidding. Because guys naturally make the leap. So now I wanted to ask you about that, because oh geez, I'll edit this out. Where the hell is that? I never ever use my phone, but lately it seems like for some reason when I started interviewing, my phone rings, and there's some guy trying to sell me something. Okay, so I want to pull on that thread a little bit about the idea of helping people decide, well, which goddess would you like to be more like? Because I think just like when I ask people when I'm helping them decide how to improve their lives, from a financial point of view and how to regain their personal sovereignty and their personal freedom from a financial angle, one of the questions I ask is, so what is it you want? And you would think that's a simple question, right? But it's not always that simple. I mean, like if someone was, instantly wealthy and they can do whatever they want, they're not tied anymore. They have no more financial obligations, even though they are truly free. They can do what they want. A lot of people don't really know what they what they would want to do every day. So when you wake up in the morning, what are you going to do? What do you want to do? It's not always that easy of a question. So do you find that in this kind of thing, when you're talking to women, do they often not know where to start?
I think sometimes people can go into a bit of overwhelm, and when you're so overwhelmed, sometimes it's very difficult to see a clear path ahead. You can't see the wood for the trees, and that's why you need sometimes someone to facilitate your journey inwards, so that you can actually go, right, okay, what is it that really turns me on? What is it that lights me up? And then from there, I think good things can happen. But people sometimes get buried. They get buried in their job, in their work, in their problems. And sometimes you just need to step back and get someone to help you make sense of what's going on in your mind. And this is what this is all about, actually taking a few days out, quietening down, be around really lovely, like-minded women, have really nice conversations, and do some digging around this work.
Okay.
And learn to understand what the goddesses are, which you're more aligned with, and which ones need to be kind of coaxed out a little bit more. So I mean, some people, for example, may not feel attractive, just as an example. Therefore, they're not really connecting with Aphrodite. Aphrodite's I'm choosing Aphrodite because that's the one I know more than anything. More, the goddess of love and beauty, because Aphrodite's everywhere. There's all sorts of people who are typical Aphrodites, and you might be pushing that down. You might not be wearing, might be wearing very sort of dowdy clothes because you don't feel attractive. Whereas if you had a bit of coaching and got in touch with that side, there was a wonderful seminar I went on, an Anthony Robbins seminar, and he did the most amazing work with this woman, German woman, who she was quite dull looking, and she had lots of issues going on, but he dragged stuff out of her. And the next day she turns up in this gorgeous pink boa with this lipstick on, and she looked beautiful, whereas she didn't feel beautiful. And just by finding out what's blocking that, because there's nothing worse for women than not feeling beautiful. It's important for us to feel beautiful, and that pushes so much down, having low confidence, low self-esteem. Everyone can be beautiful. I mean, I used to work in the beauty industry years ago, and everyone can be beautiful. Not necessarily that everyone's classically beautiful, but everyone can be beautiful. Just a little bit of, a health and well-being. Of course, vitality is important. So when vitality is oozing out, nice skin, good posture, very important, oozing a bit more confidence, it makes a massive difference. Someone like, can you imagine Barbara Streisand, for example, who's not classically beautiful, but there's something incredibly beautiful about her. She never ever did interventions, change the shape of her nose or anything like that. It was a bit like her trademark, but she was incredibly beautiful, incredibly feminine, because I guess she had the confidence. And I think that's what's lacking in a lot of women, is confidence. And the same thing for business. Sometimes we don't feel that we can do it. We don't have enough of the competitive edge, or that all goes alongside also confidence as well. Therefore, it's a whole package, not just Aphrodite, obviously, for confidence, but bringing out wisdom, bringing out connections to nature, all those sorts of things which make the female or the woman or the goddess whole. Could be a goddess of incredible, we have some in our group. I can think of a number of goddesses in our group who are incredible business women. They're beautiful, they're confident, they go out for it and they go for it. And then others that are a bit more behind, and they sort of a bit hide behind everyone, not in a horrible way, but they just don't put themselves forward for whatever reason. And when you feel that you're not putting yourself out there and you think, oh, I wish I could put myself out there, this is an ideal thing to do, to actually step back, reconnect to your power as a woman, as a businesswoman, as a goddess, as a beautiful woman, as a woman that's connected to nature, Mother Nature, because Mother Nature is female in yoga, it's Shakti energy, it's the female energy. And it's about connecting to all of that and becoming and stepping into the power of being a goddess. I'm excited.
Yeah. So I assume that this would be appropriate for pretty much any woman. I'm just guessing here, but with the kind of seminar that you're going to be doing, a lot of it is exploration, kind of like exploratory surgery, right? You're not quite sure what the problem is until you get in there and tinker around and find out, well, what's really going on. Am I wrong about that, or?
No, it's absolutely right. Actually digging around and go, what is blocking me? Why am I not in the flow? Because sometimes you're just not flowing. Everything seems to be difficult. There's brick walls coming up all over the place. And I've been experiencing that myself. It feels like, what's blocking me? Why are these brick walls happening? Why isn't, how water flows? Water should flow. But every time it hits something and it can't move, it becomes stagnant. What happens to water that doesn't flow? It becomes stagnant. And that happens very much with life in general. You become very stagnant and a bit stuck. What happens to water that's stuck? It starts to go green, gets a bit smelly.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that many successful women come to these events. So I'm assuming it's not just for people who want to be a more successful business person. It's for people who want to just become a better version of themselves, right? Am I completely misstating this, or?
No. If anyone who wants to be a better version of themselves, and to be quite honest, that's everyone, because none of us are perfect, and there's so much power that we can tap into. And let's not die with the music in us. Let's be the best we possibly can. And Andrea is brilliant at her work, and we've worked together before on a number of retreats, and it's worked really well, having her doing the facilitation, me actually kind of opening people up so that they can go deep, and it works really well as a combination.
Okay, wonderful. So how long does the seminar go for?
It's 3 days or 2.5 days, two nights.
And when and where is it?
It's the 7th to the 9th of October, and it's in this wonderful place in Barcelona, this eco-friendly villa. Beautiful views, stunning views. There's a yoga deck which has got stunning views, saltwater pool, sauna, all the things that we like, all the things that us girls like. Beautiful bedrooms.
And what's the cost of the getaway?
It's 1950.
Okay.
1,950
US
sterling.
Okay. British. Okay. And you'll give me your contact information. Do you have a website that they can go to, or?
Yeah, there's a website. There's a PDF, and there's the quiz. So I'll give you the quiz, and people can take the quiz. I'll put a link. I'll give you a link to that. So people just take the quiz out of interest to see what goddess they're relating to, and then of course they can download the PDF for the information. And then if they're interested in knowing more, just get in touch with me.
Okay. And so it's in October. We're recording this basically at the start of June. So you have a little bit of time but my suggestion is don't wait.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? October is coming up pretty fast. When you think about it, it's only what, 4 months away. So that 4 months goes by really fast, especially if you, so I'd suggest, if this is something you have an interest in, you should get on it, get it, look into the information. I have all the links in the description below, and you can reach out and, well, look, good for you. I've known you for years now, and because of Alison, I have made changes to my life, literally, like this guy right here. So, okay, so I got my coffee here, but it's 11 in the morning, so I've got another hour window to take my coffee.
Only not really
just
really.
So I should stop drinking right now.
It takes 5 hours to metabolize 50% of your caffeine intake.
Okay.
Still get 50% at 7 p.m. So
I used to drink coffee right up until bedtime. So the fact that I'm stopping at noon is a pretty big change for me, all by itself. But I guess I got some more work to do. I guess
maybe half an hour more. I hope half an hour more. But you're doing a great job. If you've really done that, that's amazing.
Yeah, and that was tough. That was so I'm drinking more and more of this stuff, because so see, and making little changes. Forget the big changes. Just making a few little changes does make a difference in your life. Because my big issue was getting a full night's sleep. I would wake up 2 or 3 times in the middle of the night. I'd be lucky if I strung more than 3 hours, together of solid sleep, which is not good. You do want to strive for that full, 8 hours, right, or 7 hours of solid sleep. And I've had a few of those, but I'm sleeping better through the night because of a little change. But I know that I've got more work to do, and these are things I bring on, myself. But Alison knows what she's talking about. So when Alison gives you any kind of, she won't give you advice on things she doesn't know about, okay? But the things she does know about, she really knows about, and you should really pay close attention. And I know you wouldn't be doing this upcoming, God's retreat unless you were excited about it and you're eager to do it, because I know you.
I'm very excited about it. I'm really excited about it. Okay. It works well having the two things together, having my piece and Andrew's piece, and they complement each other and make it more powerful, make it much more powerful.
Well, good for you. Okay, so Alison Anandi, live from Italy. But this upcoming seminar is not in Italy, it's in Spain, so don't go to the wrong country. So I'll have all the information we talked about in all the links in the description below. Make sure you click on those and reach out to Alison. And I hope that, and I'd be curious to hear whether some of you in my audience end up signing up for the, keep in touch, because I'd be curious. I'm even tempted, and I could get some reports from people who go to the event. Maybe we can do a little,
follow-up
live thing from the event. So Alison Anandi, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Alison. Always a joy to see you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Copy that.